Hey, hello everyone. Good morning. Can you confirm audible or not? Can you hear me? So, where we stopped in the last session, we discussed about Node, right? So, yesterday, just how to run our JS file, how many ways we can run our JS file, we discussed. Okay, one is like just load your JS in the HTML and then you can run the HTML. That is one way. Another way is like you can create, okay, you can install Node software, and by using that Node command also we can run the JS file. Okay, these all are like just treat like a prerequisites. Okay, so I asked you to install the Node software. Did you? Either you can install Node software or either you can use NVM Node version manager. Okay, Node software is like tightly coupled with your versions. It's like very difficult to change one version to another version. If you want to change it, first you need to uninstall and install the new one. That is like somewhat okay, not tightly coupled with the versions. But if you want, okay, keep on frequently in your application, okay, in your development want to change that port, okay, that versions, one node version to another node version, then that time just you have to, okay, recommended to go with the node version manager. So already we discussed yesterday, I already shared you one link also to configure or to install nvm in your machines. Hope you complete that one. If you not, just you can do it. The next one is like, what is callback? We discussed. What is callback? This one also we discussed, right? It's a function. Callback, it's a normal function. When one function turn to the callback means very simple. You can give that function to some other. That person just call back with the another reference. I have fn here. Say this. I have one fn. I have one fn. Okay. I given this fn to my f1. I given this fn to f1. I given this fn to f1. Okay. Now, in this f1, what he is doing? He is calling back or not? He is calling back. Okay, that time, this f1 is like called as a callback. I given this fn to f1. My f1 call back with another reference here or not. That kind of functions we can say like a callbacks. So fn is a callback. What about f1? F1 is like a higher order. F1 is like a higher order. So far we discussed up to here. Up to here. Okay, again, if you go here, callback, why we go for, where exactly we use this one? Node.js, if you complete this course in our application development, where exactly we use, not yet discussed, just wait. Okay, callbacks done. The next one is like promises. Okay, just I want to ask some questions. Just you can answer this one. Okay, why we go for promise? Anyone? Why we go for promise? Okay, here the promise says if you have an idea on React or Angular, that is well and good. The next one is like a modules concept also is required. Why? Because we are going to use modules also. These are the prerequisites. It's not related to Node.js. It's simply related to JavaScript. Okay, so tell me, what is promise?
You can retrieve the data from
Promise.
caller, either success data or failure data.
Promise. It's a syntactically. It is a class. First of all, promise syntactically. It's a class. Okay. For example, one class in your hand. What you can do in general? You can create an object or not. You can create an object in your hand. One variable is there, that value you can use it. In your hand, one function is there, you can call it. In your hand, one class is there, you can create an object and consume the members of that particular class or not. Same like this here, the promise is the one, it's like a class whose type is like a class, so you can create an object for this particular class. Okay, now it gives me what? Promise object. It gives me a promise object. Now my question is like, okay, this particular one, okay, while creating an object, is this promise expecting some values or not? While creating an object, is it expecting some values or not? Means, just check it. You can run that code. let me open our console. Let's go here. Now see, first of all, promise. It is what? It is a class. In JavaScript, simply you can recognize like a class. How you know? Starts with capital letter. Okay, and the type is like a function. It's like a functional class. All predefined classes are like functional classes only. Okay, for example, if you take like this one, see both are giving the result is like same only. F4 name native code, but this one is like a class and this one is like a function. What is the difference? Both are like predefined members only. Here starts with capital letter so that it's a functional class. It's like lowercase, it's like a normal function. It's like a lowercase, it's like a normal function. Understood everyone? Agreed? All are okay? So this is the class now. So can I create an object? So obj equals to new promise. Obj equals to new promise. So it gives an error. Can anyone read this error? Tell me, okay, what kind of fix is required? Promise resolver undefined, okay, is not a function. That means this kind of errors wherever you see is not a functions. Undefined is not a function, integer is not a function, string is not a function. If you see this kind of errors wherever it is like they're expecting a function but received okay other than function or not. They're expecting function, they use it like a function, but the value is not a function. Actual value is not a function, but they are using that value as like a function. See, if it is not a function, how we can use that one as a function? That the reason you can get this error is not a function. So in this case where they are expecting as a function, okay, in this statement means very simple. The scope here, here no, here no, here no, here only the place to pass some data or not. I didn't pass anything. That the reason. What is the default value? Undefined. If you pass like this, my 10 is not a function. Okay, if I pass something like this, my array is not a function. So this is the place they are expecting like one function or not. This is the place they are expecting like a function. So can I pass a function? One arrow function, you can pass it. Now there is no errors, nothing. Now there has no errors, nothing. Understood? Okay then. Now my promise take one function as a parameter. Now tell me which function you passed. That function I can say like what? Callback. To whom you passed, that one we can say like a higher order or not. But here it is not a function, it is a class. Don't say like a promise is higher order, just simply, and this one is given to one class, right? So that it is like a callback only. Now tell me, this function go to where? You are giving to whom this function? This function you are giving to whom? Promise,
Promise.
right?
Promise.
Promise. Now two things you have to consider. One function in your hand, you are promise, for example. I given one function to you. What you can do? You are going to call it, right? If you have a function in your hand, we can going to call it. That is immediately you called, later sometime you called, that is secondary, but you are going to call it or not. Now my question is, when this particular function called, that is depending on promise, but while calling that function, while calling that callback, there may be a chance of passing some data or not. Possibility there or not there? While calling a function, there has a chance, there may be a chance of passing the data or passing some arguments to that function or not. Passing some arguments to that particular function or not. Yes or no? Got my point? So my question is, promise call this function, call this callback by passing how many parameters? Can anyone analyze? How many parameters it's like passed? How many arguments it's like passed? Okay. Two, already you know that one. That's the reason you said like two, for example. If you don't know, how you can come to know? Very simple. Promise pass the data to this function. No? Okay, how we can hold the data which is coming from outside to the function by using some arguments or not? If data first parameter they passed, A hold that value. Second, B hold that. C hold that. D hold that. For example, E they not passed. What is the default value? In JavaScript, what is the default value for variable? Undefined.
Undefined.
So if I write like console.log of A comma B comma C comma D comma E, which values, which variables having the value means they passed. Which variable value is like undefined, they not passed. Like that you can come to know. Now see this. This is my last one not passed, undefined. Last but one not passed. The third one also not passed. Second one passed. First one passed. That means my promise call the callback by passing how many parameters? My promise call the callback by passing how many parameters? Come on. My promise call the callback by passing how many parameters? Two parameters or not. Like that. See, if you created a function, you call it, then the time you come to know, no problem at all. Okay, for example, F1 I created, F1 of 10 comma 20. I know that how many arguments I passed. But here the case is different. My function, this is the one I created but called by some other person. Who called? Promise is not mine. Promise is defined by JavaScript people. That case, how we can come to know that person passed how many arguments? Okay, how we can come to know means randomly put some parameters like this. If the value of the parameter is like undefined, he not passed. If it is not undefined, simply you can say like he passed some value. Understood? Now, can you conclude? Final statement. A promise is a class which take one callback function as an argument. That callback function called by promise by passing two parameters. Those two parameter types are what? Again, those two parameters types are what? Come on, those two parameters types are what? Functions only or not? That is something about the promise, right? Agreed, everyone? Promise is a class. Okay. While creating an object, you have to pass what? While creating an object, you have to pass what? You have to pass one callback function as a argument. That callback function called by promise by passing how many parameters? Two
Two
parameters.
parameters.
Those two parameters types are what? Functions
Functions.
or not. Those two parameters types are like functions only or not. Okay, next question. Promise is a class, you said. Okay, in the class is a collection of variables and methods. In the class, in the class, how many members are there? How we can come to know?
Using prototype.
Using prototype. Okay, prototype, why? Why not directly? Promise, direct members not there. Okay, direct members not visible here. If we don't have direct members, there may be a chance of inherited members or not. Inherited members, how we can see? One class inherited members, how we can see in JavaScript? Promise dot
Prototype
type
objects.
or not. Now, if you open this one in the promise class, can anyone tell me how many methods are there? F means all are methods only. How many? Constructor is the one, okay, that is default member for any class. While creating an object, it's going to execute, you know that. The extra three more methods are there. Can you spell out? One is like a then, another one is like a catch, the next one is like a finally or not. Yes or no? So the promise class has three methods, then, catch, and finally. Now, general question. One class methods if you want to access, how we can access? One class methods if you want to access, how we can access?
Create an object.
By using an object or not? Okay, now that class is a promise class. Promise class methods if you want to access, how we can access? Using promise object only or not. So my obj dot, members tell me, then are you able to access or not? Next, obj dot, next one, catch. Next obj dot
Finally,
finally or not. Now then no catch finally. The types are what?
functions.
You should not say like
Functions.
a function. Terminology wise, can you say like a method? Why my then? My then is inside what? Inside a promise class, right? So terminology wise, inside the class, there has some functions or there. Don't call like a functions. Can you say terminology wise methods? The difference between method and functions are what? Functions directly we can invoke. See, for example, fetch, I'm able to invoke directly. But the methods we can invoke with the reference. The methods we can invoke using some reference or not. Understood? You got my point? Okay. Okay then. Now promise syntax is okay. Everyone, promise syntax is okay. Now, why we go for promise? That is the question. Now, I have a promise object. Okay, while creating an object, it is expecting like one function. That function may be arrow function or normal function. That's okay. This arrow function called by promise by passing how many parameters? This arrow function called by passing how many parameters?
Two param.
Two parameters. The first parameter is what?
Result.
One function. Second parameter also one more function. These are the references. Names can be anything or not. These are like a reference which holds some value. That's it. Okay. So the references can be any name. No problem at all. Okay. Done. My promise class has how many methods? Methods in
Four,
promise class.
Two methods.
Sorry.
four methods.
Okay. One is like then.
Then
Another one is like
wait.
catch. Promise class has how many methods? I'm asking. Just see the question. Then no catch. The next one is what?
Finally.
Finally or not. Then no catch you finally. These are the methods inside the promise class. There is one more method also there. What is that?
Construct.
Constructor. This is like common for all. This is like common for all the classes. This is something like promise syntax. I am not the, any questions, anyone? Okay, this is something like promise syntax. But why we go for promise? That is the question. Why? When you can go with the promises? Why we go for promises? That is the question. Why we go for promises? Okay, in this case, promise concept is required, something like this. Anyone knows? Hmm? To handle asynchronous action results. Okay, to handle. Okay, the answer is like what? To handle asynchronous action results. To handle the asynchronous action results, then you can go with the promise. Now next question, what is asynchronous action? What is synchronous? What is synchronous? What is asynchronous?
Synchronous
No,
line
no,
by
synchronous is like what? Okay, line by line execution. First line execution completed, then it comes to the second line, third line, fourth line, like this synchronous way. Okay, JavaScript is like what? JavaScript execute the statements is like what? By default it's like synchronous only, right? Okay, there has 10 statements over there. First statement completed, second one, third one, something like this. That is like a synchronous. What about asynchronous? By default it's like a synchronous. What about the asynchronous? That is the question. When I can say this action is like an asynchronous action?
we don't know how much of time taken.
Yeah, simply I can show you one simple example. See, this is my React application. This is which application? React application. Okay. And this is my Node.js application. This is my Node.js application. and this one is my database. This one is my DB. This is my Node.js application, and this one is my database. Okay, this one is my database. Now, my React application is like a client-side application. You know that. Okay, my client application, my React application has the form. Okay, the form is like a registration form. User ID is there. Okay, and the password is there. Okay, the next one is like phone number. Next one is like email. Okay, address, something like this I have. Okay, now this data I want to store within the database. Within the database. This data I want to store within the database. You know, right? Okay, my React applications or my Angular application, okay, the application which is running inside the browser, those are not having the capability to communicate with the database. That's the reason some backend application help is required. Here, who is the backend guy? Here, who is the backend guy? Okay,
Node.js.
any backend applications like Java, .NET, PHP, Python, something like this. But here, the backend application is like what? Come on, Node.js or not? Think like that. Now, I am the client. I am the React application. You are like a Node application. Okay, this is like a Okay, MongoDB is the database. Now I asked something to you. Okay, hey man, can you store this data within the database? Something like that. I requested you. Now tell me. Once I requested. Now from my React side, this guy know how much time exactly it will take. Exactly, this guy know how much time it will take. Exact time. I given one task to you. Okay, am I know how much time exactly it's going to take? Exact time. I don't know, right? Okay, who knows the status of your work? Who knows who is doing? Okay, practically who is doing? That guy only know how much time it will take. Okay, exact time. Okay, what is the complexity and everything? The person who is doing that work, that guy only know or not? I don't know that one. Here also same story. My React requested something to this guy. Okay, save the data in the database. My React application don't know how much time it will take to complete this action. Understood or not? From React side. From Node.js side, he knows, okay, to connect with the database, this much time it will take. To insert the data, this much time it will take. My Node.js knows about that particular action, but my React don't know. So I'm talking about from React side. My React side, he don't know how much time it will take this particular action. At the same time, I asked something to you. Yeah, I get like always positive response from me, from you.
No.
I requested something to you. Okay, hey man, can you do this one? Am I expect like always positive response? No, right? There may be a chance is there. It's like a negative response or not. Yes or no? Got my point? Yes or no? So my React application, he asked something to my Node.js guy. That guy, okay, started that particular task. From React side, I don't know how much time it will take. From React side, I don't know whether my node gives me the success response or failure response also or not. Okay, now that particular action I can say from React side is like a asynchronous action. Okay, now asynchronous action, okay, how we can define means very simple. One action with respect to me, okay, with respect to some other person, some X person, in this case with respect to React application, one action, my React application don't know how much time it will take. My React application don't know whether that action gives me the success response or failure response. That kind of, okay, that kind of actions we can say like what? That kind of actions we can say like what? That kind of
Asynchronous.
actions we can say like a asynchronous actions or not. Understood? I don't know how much time it will take that action. At the same time, whether I can get the success response of okay, failure response also, I don't know. That kind of actions we can say like a asynchronous action. So this action with respect to react, it's a asynchronous action. The same action who perform, the same action who perform
their own Node.js.
Node.js, right? Now, with respect to Node.js, you can think he is doing one work means you are doing one work means you know end to end, right? Okay, the complexity, how much time it will take, and everything. Finally, you know whether I can do it or not. So, with respect to Node.js, the same action we should not say like a asynchronous. Why? Because you know how much time it will take. You know whether it is like success or failure, complete successfully or not. But the same action with with respect to React, okay, we can say like what? Asynchronous or not. So what I'm trying to say is one action with respect to one person is like an asynchronous action. The same action, it may not be asynchronous action with respect to another person or not. Yes or no? Got my point? So one action, okay, I don't know how much time it will take. I don't know whether this action gives me the success response or failure response. That kind of actions with respect to that person, it's like a asynchronous action or not. Don't say like this action for all the members asynchronous. Why? Okay, if you come to the Node.js, it's like asynchronous or not? Asynchronous or not? 1 second. Yeah, I'm back. Yeah. So this action with respect to our React is like an asynchronous action. With respect to Node, it's like not an asynchronous action. Now come here. My promise is used for what? To handle the asynchronous action results. To handle the asynchronous action results means, okay, whenever my React send a request to the server, okay, to handle that response, whether success response or failure response, okay, we can, okay, handle it. We can handle it by using what? By using promises or not. To handle the asynchronous action results. Asynchronous action is nothing but I don't know how much time it will take. I don't know whether it gives me success response or failure response. That type of actions, what we can say? That type of actions, what we can say? Asynchronous actions or not. Agreed? One. All are okay. Anyone have any questions so far?
Sir, actually, if we send multiple requests, right, how it can handle? Like, it will send only single request at a time for the asynchronous, or it will send multiple requests.
Okay, here
So,
two cases. You want me to send first request completed, second request, third request, fourth request, something like that. That is one case. The another one is like if you want to send all the requests at a time, in the promise there has some methods are there. Okay, promise dot all. Okay, the next one is like promise dot all settled. By using this, okay, we can handle multiple requests. Got my point?
yeah, okay.
Promise dot all and all settled. Look, already I think you shared one link right there. You can find. Okay, I will discuss. I will tell you. Okay. Any other questions? Anyone? Okay. To handle the asynchronous action results, we can use like promise. We can use like a promises. Now tell me how we can handle. That is the question now. How we can handle. it's like a success or failure, how we can handle. Okay, how we can handle. Come on. Okay, very simple thing. First of all, we can create one promise where obj equals to new promise. Otherwise you can reproduce, okay, this code only. You can reproduce this code only. First, how many applications are there? One is like, come on, simple JavaScript code you can write it. One is like client application, another one is like what, server application. Okay, just this is the client functionality, this is the server functionality. My client calls what? Inside the client, my client call what? My client send a request to whom?
Server.
Server, right? So my client calls the server. Now my server start the execution. My client don't know how much time it will take. My client don't know whether it is like a success response or failure response. Okay, now my client, with respect to my client, this action is what? With respect to my client, this action is what?
Asynchronous.
Asynchronous action or not. So my server, what he's going to do? My server, what he's going to do? He is going to perform some operation. After some time, okay, he is going to give the response. Possibilities are what? Either success, either failure or not. Yes or no? This response to whom I have to give? This response to whom I have to give? Success or failure, to whom I have to give? My server side guy, to whom he has to give? To my client or not? To my client or not? It is not like a normal action, it's like a asynchronous action or not? Asynchronous action results, how we can give it back? Come on, success or failure, this is the asynchronous action result, how we can give it back? Asynchronous action results, how we can give it back? See the statement.
Promise.
Okay, by using to handle the asynchronous action results, okay, to give the asynchronous action results back, okay, asynchronous action results, how we can give it back? By using promises only or not? Yes or no? Either success or failure. Where is my result? My result is inside where? Inside the server. So that this server side guy has to give this particular success or failure results to my client. Okay, it's a kind of asynchronous action. That the reason you have to give it through promise. So tell me, how we can create a promise? Syntax, tell me. Promise is a what? It's a class. It's take one callback function as a parameter. This callback function called by passing two arguments. Those two arguments types are what?
Methods.
Those two arguments types are like a functions or not? Done. Now those two arguments are like a functions. So those functions, how we can use means, one function I'm going to use to pass the success data. Another function I'm going to use to pass the failure data. One function I'm going to use to pass the success data. One function I'm going to use to pass the failure data or not. Got my point? Now, my promise object has, okay, one task is not like a combination, okay, success of or failure of, not like that, either success or either failure. Okay, now tell me, this promise object has, okay, maybe success data, maybe failure data. To whom I have to give? To whom I have to give this data? Success or failure? To my client, right? So this function has to give this data. The data is not like outside, that is like inside the promise object. So how one function gives some data back? By using which keyword? Return keyword or not? So finally, my server returns either success data or failure data through promise object or not. Why I preferred like a promise object? Why? Because this is which kind of action? It's like normal action or asynchronous action? Tell me, this is which kind of action? It's a normal action or asynchronous action?
Server is normal.
Second, can anyone tell me what kind of action this is?
Asynchronous action.
It's like an asynchronous action, right? Asynchronous action results, how we can give it back?
Through
Promise.
promise.
By using promise or not. So that result may be success, that result may be failure or not. That result may be success, that result may be failure. So that now come to
It's
the,
like if and yeah, it's
yeah, go
like
on.
if and else condition, right?
Say again.
Like it seems to like if and else condition to me. Like
This one.
yeah, if
Yeah,
A
yeah,
is successful,
just
then
I written. Okay, this
yeah.
is like
Oh,
normal.
okay, okay,
Okay, just
okay,
okay, either success or either failure like that. Okay.
okay,
Okay, it's not like final code. We can write. It's like draft. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, thanks.
Okay then. Now my server side again return type is what? My server call return type is what? This server return type is what? This function returns me what? Come on. If I write something like this, what you can say? My server return value is what?
Integer.
It's a 10. Return type is what? It's like a number. It's like a number. Okay, if I put like this, return value is like array. Return type, okay, return value is like what? Okay, 1, 2, 3 array. Return type is like what? It's an array or not? Same like this. My return value is what?
Boolean, Boolean,
Return value is what?
Undefined.
Why undefined?
Boolean,
What is the return value? One
Boolean.
promise object, right? Say returns what? Returns after return whatever the statement we have, that is the return value, na? So here you said like return 10. What is the return value? 10 you said. Okay, here what is the return? It is what?
Promise object.
It's a promise object or not? So my server returns me what? A promise object. My server return type is what? It's a promise object only. My server return type is like a promise object only or not? Now see, now you can write the server. I have a function server. Okay. Now this guy handle one asynchronous action, so that asynchronous action result you have to give it to the caller. So you can use asynchronous action results. How we can give it back? Through promise only or not? So create one promise object. Create one promise object. Okay, here there has, come on, promise object has one callback. This callback called by passing how many parameters? 2 parameters. Now you can return it. Now you can return it. Now possibility is constant is success. Okay, successfully completed. Sometimes failure also. If is success, you have to give which data?
Successful.
Success data or not? Okay, else I want to give which data? Failure data. By using second argument. What is my second argument? B. Failure. Done? Now A, B names can be anything, I said, right? So now onwards for A, I want to use for success data. So resolve the name. B, I want to use for failure data. That name I want to use like a reject. This is like a reject, and this is like a resolve or not. Yes or no? Okay. Now my server, if I call, what is the return value? It returns me one promise object or not. See this. one promise object or not? Got my point? Come on. Okay, so who called this server? Who called this server? Who called?
Line.
Client.
Client. So my server returns me what?
Promise.
Promise object or not? Server returns me a promise object. Now, from the promise object, I want to get the actual data, right? What is your actual data? If it is like a success, this is my data, right? Okay, if it is like a failure, this is my data. I need data from the promise object. I need data from the promise object. So my question is like simple straight question. In your hand, one promise object is there with success data na, failure data na, it's not a matter. In your hand, one promise object is there. How we can get the data, either success or failure from the promise object? How to take the data from promise object? How to take the data from the promise object? That data may be success or failure, that is not a matter. How to take the data from the promise object? That is the question. Anyone knows?
Then and await.
Two ways. One is like by using then, which is like inside, come on, which is inside promise class. Okay, catch, which is inside promise class only. Another one is like using await keyword. Either then catch, success, failure. Either you can go with the await keyword. Understood? So first let's go with the simple await keyword. In JavaScript, await is like a ES6, okay, advanced JavaScript. They introduced this await keyword to take the data from the promise object. How you know? Very simple. Await is always follows the promise object. Okay. Await is always follows the promise object. For that statement, okay, this is okay or not? My server call gives me what? Come on. My server call gives me what?
Promise.
Promise object. My await followed the promise object or not? Yes or no? Come on. My await followed or not? Okay. He is following. While following, what he achieve, what he can get it, you know. Okay, my await follow the promise object and get the success data if it is there. Okay, possibility success or failure. If it is success data, my await take the success data from the promise object and return it. One statement returns me some value. How we can hold that value? How we
Variable.
can hold that value? Some variable or not. So here, can I print console.log of my response? Console.log of my response. Yes or no? Now see here. Await is only valid in the async functions. It's nothing but await keyword. If you place inside one function, that function should be async. That function should be async. So no error, nothing. Can I call the client now? Whenever you call the client, now see, you can get the success data. This is my success data or not? Yes or no? This is one way. Take the success data from the promise object or not? How many ways we can take the data from the promise object? I said. How many ways we can take the data from the promise object? Come on. Using
Then
and catch, using await. Okay. Now, two things here. Success data, failure data is there. My await is like gives me success data, returns me the success data while following the promise object. If it is like a failure, then how we can take it? Means we can use exception handling. You can use exception handling to handle the failure. But await follows the promise object. It returns me only success data. But failure means how we can handle the failure? By using exception handling. Okay, here then no catch is there, another way. Okay, let's go to the failure section, failure one also. Now, if you come here, this is my server, is success is like false, is nothing but this time my server returns me promise object with which data? Success data, failure data. Now. Success or failure? Come on. The server Returns me promise object only. Is success false means it's a failure or success? It's a failure data or not? Yes or no? So await follows the promise object. That is correct only. But it always returns me success data. But now you have the success data na failure data na? Failure data. That's the reason. See, it is through an exception. Okay, it is not gives me. I'm expecting this failure text. This is actual data. See, I'm not able to. So that if it is like await you used, if you use await, success data directly await keyword use. Failure data, how we can? Exception handling. So can you write the exception handling syntax here? How we can write the exception handling syntax? Try catch. Okay, now this catch is there na. This catch is your error response. So can I print my console.log of, okay, this is my failure data. Can I print that data? Now see, can I call my client? Can I call my client? Now this time it's like a failure data. I can get it or not. Understood? My await always gives me the success data from the promise object. If it is like a failure, my await not take the failure. If you want to handle the failure data, then you can go with what? Exception handling or not. This is one way. Another way is what? By using. Another way is what? By using
Then
promise class methods. How many promise class methods are there? 3 are there. Then no catch finally. So then method used for success data, catch used for failure data from the promise object. So can I use then catch? This is one way. Can I remove this one? I don't want to use await. I want to use then catch. Come on. Which one you want me to call? Server. Server returns me what? Server returns me what? Come on first.
promise of
Promise object. It may contains either
success or
success data or failure data. If you have a promise object, how many ways we can retrieve the data?
2 ways.
Two ways. One is like what? Yeah,
Then
wait. Yeah, wait. Another one is like then catch. Yeah, wait. Exception handling. Now, from the server, okay, it's like a promise object. Promise object you have means promise class methods we can call it or not. So you can call your then. You can call your then. This then take syntactically. This then take one callback function. Whenever you have a success data, my then call this callback by passing your success data. By passing your success data. Now say console.log of your success data. Whenever it is like a failure, whenever it is like failure, you can go with the catch. You can go with the catch. Now that failure data you can see here. Okay, console.log of failure. Okay, now my data is this one. Now can I call my client? Now see this, my failure data only. That means my catch executed or not. Why? My server gives me which kind of data? Through promise object, failure data or not. If it is like a success, now see, you can do the change. My is success is like true. My is success is like true. Now see my client. Now if I call my client, now see this, you can get the success data or not. Understood? Very important. Most of the times this syntax we are going to use in our entire application. Callbacks, promises, then await, retrieving the data. Understood? Any questions, anyone? Hmm? Okay, can you read this? Can you go through this YouTube video so that you can get some more idea now? Yes, this is the one.
Have you ever wondered why you can binge watch Netflix for 6 hours straight, but you can't focus on your work for
So I pasted in chart. Okay, I pasted in chart. Now, can you focus on callbacks and promises? Observables, leave it. Callbacks and promises, can you focus on it? Can you go through this video? Okay, you can come up with your questions. Obviously, you can get some doubts. Okay, we'll repeat the same thing again. Just go through this one. Okay, na? Any questions, anyone? Okay, then. Thank you, guys. Thanks for joining. So, who not enrolled, just enroll. So, there you can see the yesterday's video, today's video also. Enroll and login. Enroll for Node.js and login. Already, Mern stack people also, you're supposed to be enrolled for Node again. Okay.